Here's a look at the E-mini S&P for Friday, March 26th, 2010. At E-mini Day Trader, we always like to use our market profiles. So we had been suggesting yesterday that there was support at 59 and at 57.50. And we can see that the overnight market, which is right here, that overnight low dipped to 58.25, I believe was the low, and turned right around, ended up by rallying all the way up here in the day session up to 69.75. It came all the way back down and made a lower low, this time at 56.50, and had a pretty good bounce too, rallying up some 7 points. So this area of support has held, and if the market can obviously hold below that come Sunday evening or Monday, that obviously would be a very bearish indication. We'd look for a good leg down, probably in the order of about 10 points. As far as the barriers on the upside, we had been mentioning around the 67 area, and you can see here that the market did reach 68.25 in the overnight session, and obviously a little bit higher in the regular trading hours. So if it can get back up here and continue to hold above approximately 68, that would be a bullish scenario. So however, it looks like the market has still got some pretty good weight on it. I wouldn't be surprised to see at least some follow through here in the overnight session Sunday. But I think we need to monitor once again in around that 67 area to see if the market can actually hold above that. It did for a short time today, but then pretty quickly rejected, and then it's where it came down and made the lows. So some of the things that we can take into consideration going into the weekend, and then for trade on Sunday evening and Monday. Here's our regular market profiles, i.e. regular trading hours only, whereas the previous one included the overnight session as well. Here's our software here, and as far as our trades were concerned today, our first trade, let's see, we attempted to get long in here. It missed us by a tick, had a nice little rally. We did not attempt to get in on that trade again. We had an order, as it turned out, right on that tick right there. Some of our traders got in, some didn't. But that really was the first trade of the day, and it had a nice down move. We then had an order to get in right here just prior to this nice dip, so that trade worked out great. That trade moved 4 points in our favor, just 2 ticks offside, and easily reaching our first 2 objectives, and then we were able to take 2 1/4 points out of the final 1/4 of our position on that trade. The market rejected price in here, and we were actually able to get long, which was a little surprising. Our filter had changed by this time, so we got long in here, and this trade worked out fairly nicely. This trade also moved, so this is really the third trade. I'm sorry, this would have been the first trade here, the second trade here, and then the third trade here. The first trade is not all, I'm sorry, the fill was right here. Not all of our traders would have gotten in on that one, so, but I'll consider it as a trade. So this trade worked out nicely, moved 2 points in our favor, and a three quarters of a point on our final partial there. We had another opportunity to get long in here. Unfortunately, we're stopped out for 5 ticks on that trade. So that was the fourth trade, and we were stopped out on that trade, so stopped out on that one. We had one final trade at the end of the day, which got us long here. It did dip 5 ticks against us and then have a nice move higher, so that trade worked out well. It ended up by moving 3 1/4 points in our favor, so we're able to take out 1 point on the final partial there. So that was the 5th trade. So trade number 1, nice. 2 was really good, the best trade of the day. 3 hit both of our objectives. 4 we were stopped out, and 5 it hit both of our objectives. So a nicely profitable day today. And this does not include, of course, any of the traders that would have been taking longs, as I mentioned, from the 57, 50 to 59 area, the end, which is where the area of support that we were mentioning. So Any questions or comments, just get a hold of us at info@eminidaytrader. Other than that, have a really good weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday.